All right. Welcome to another episode of our podcast here. Today's guest, we have Leonard Caoili. Leonard, how you doing today, Leonard?
Literally just woke up, but we're doing great.
You just woke up. I know I can see the stuff in your eyes still. Were you able to wash your face this morning? I'm just kidding. All right. And we also have aLeXiS. What's up, aLeXiS?
Yo.
I see you. I see you every time, man.
I know.
All right.
We should just move in together at this point.
We should. I mean, this neighborhood's kind of ghetto, but I think my car will be safe.
You don't know. You don't know where I live.
We don't know, because if we tell you where we live, then someone might take your 900 games arcade cabinet here that we're giving away to the fifth caller.
No, we're not.
Right. But anyways, we have Leonard here today. Leonard, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right.
Good. Leonard just recently shot a video for us. I did a behind the scenes of my coaching my summer league basketball team. First of all, I want to thank both aLeXiS and Leonard for shooting that video. But tell me about that shoot. What did you think about that shoot?
It was a lot of fun just watching you yell. I mean, like, I used to do, what do you call it? Videography, photography for the school newspaper at my high school. So it just brought me back to.
And which high school is that?
Lowell High School.
The Lowell Cardinals. All right. Tell us about that experience. Like, what did you do? We play Lowell. Actually next year. So go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I really got my start for like camera stuff, like everything from taking pictures of sports to school events to just stories we were covering in school. And yeah, mostly started with photography and then, naturally videography. And then sure enough, I'm still doing photo and video to this day.
Yeah, I think what I appreciate about that is it seems like nowadays it's like anybody could be a video editor. I mean, there's all that software on your iPhone, but I feel like someone once told me it doesn't matter what kind of equipment you have, it's the artist behind the paintbrush, right? But I feel like with so much technology, people editing their shorts and everything, they feel like they're editors. So I think about you. I think about someone who's really into it, like who loves it. You know what I mean? Like, all the aspects. Let me get to say, so after Lowell, you went to SF State, correct?
Yeah, I went to City College,
Mm-hmm.
then didn't really know what to do for college. So I was like, if I just need a degree, I'll just do it in film. So I went to SF State for film.
I heard City College, they do have a video production program now, right? Were you there when they had it?
Yeah, they've had it for. I mean, I think aLeXiS, you've.
I went to City and I took film classes. We were shooting in film. I did like 8mm, 16mm. Mm-hmm. Video was still really new at the time. It was still VHS. Like digital video wasn't a thing yet. And I wish it was, because film was super expensive and very hard to film in.
Like splicing it, matching the audio. That's crazy.
Yeah, that was like, it was nuts, and it was super expensive. Like I did one of my assignments was a 16mm short, and it was like less than 10 minutes. And it cost like $300 a reel or something just to like buy and process. And back then it was 1991. $300 was a lot of money. So yeah, it was really expensive and really hard to work with compared to video.
Yeah, but there's something about film I feel is different. Like, I guess 'cause the look of it, right? Like,
I agree, but dropping 300 as a student, no matter what, is
right.
always tough.
Yeah.
I mean, nowadays people drop 300 in a pair of shoes, so it's okay. Inflation. But all right, yeah. So when you went to SF State, what did you major in? Did you major in film or?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, because when I went to SF State, I majored in radio television, and I remember like the radio television and the cinema majors didn't get along. Like they would hate on each other because, oh, you're digital, you're fake, film is real.
Oh,
But,
really?
yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's interesting.
And a lot of people from cinema took video production because in our major, after like the first year, you're able to go hands-on. But is it true in cinema you didn't go hands on. Everything is theory until the last semester you start filming. I don't know if that's how it was. That's how it was before. What about now?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I think I kind of do agree with that. I mean, again, I transferred, and then on top of that, the pandemic. So I was only in the school, like in person, for maybe like a semester or two.
Oh, that's right. You were there during the pandemic.
Yeah.
that
Oh,
sucks, dude.
Yeah. But I mean, back to your question or point. Yeah, I feel like it was pretty like heavily theory based, which isn't a bad thing. But like for people like me who just want more practical things, it was definitely like, I know a lot of people said they would rather do like Becca because it's more hands on.
Yeah. Becca!
What's
When
Becca?
That's broadcast electronic communication art.
Ah,
So if I ever get famous and become a millionaire, I will donate back to the program that made me. But not right now, San Francisco State. I'm not there yet, but I will, I promise.
they can name a wing after you.
Yes. So, oh, wow. So tell me about that experience. 'Cause I feel like, I don't know, I feel like during the pandemic, you were robbed of school, you know? So how did you feel about that? Taking cinema classes online at home?
I mean, low-key, yeah, like, honestly speaking, I don't think I learned a lot, if not, like, anything new. But, I mean, I'm still grateful for the experience. Like, the main reason I wanted to go to SF State was just, to connect with people and maybe learn a thing or two. But, pandemic, I didn't really get to meet anyone there.
Yeah.
And
I think the most important thing about the college experience, and especially with the things that you wanted to do with film and stuff, is the networking, meeting
100%.
people and connecting and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, you not being able to connect with people and just sort of learning things that you already probably knew. Yeah, I feel like you were robbed of the benefits of going to college.
that's true. I mean, like, many other people were too. So, just trying to navigate that on my own has been pretty interesting. But I do agree.
Yeah.
What are some filmmakers or movies that inspire you? Like, what are some of the movies that you liked or currently like?
Well, if you know me, I don't watch a ton of movies.
Okay.
Whether
a filmmaker that doesn't watch movies, I love it.
Irony.
It's pretty ironic, whether it's like classics or stuff that's just come out. But one that I've watched recently by, I forget his first name, something Korida, he's like a Japanese filmmaker, was Afterlife. That one is a really good one.
I don't think I've seen that one. What is it about?
Well, the basic premise of the whole movie is if you can take one moment or experience from your life and take it into the afterlife, what would it be? And you only get one.
Ooh, okay.
And the way they do it is like, it's set in purgatory, but it looks like a normal place. But so these people that
Hold on. No spoilers? Are we doing spoilers?
yeah, no spoilers.
no spoilers.
But I'm definitely writing this movie down. I need to.
You can watch it on the National Film Archive for free.
Got
Ooh,
it.
okay.
You know, that's an interesting point. Growing up, I've had a lot of friends who were into film. Like, I met a lot of people in the cinema department at SF State because we had to do general ed classes together. And it's interesting because when I was talking to them, they were inspired by a lot of, like, Italian neorealism, Japanese Seven Samurai, Seven Seal, like all these old classics. And to me, I guess the difference back then between Becca and cinema was Becca was all about, it was MTV age, quick shots, quick. But in cinema, it was like long shots. It's within the frame that you're shooting, the acting, the way it's shot, the close-ups. And recently, because you guys know I work at a high school, I was talking to this person who was taking pictures, and he was a so-called film guy. And I was just talking to him, and like, he had no knowledge of any of those movies.
Oh.
And he just goes, I like it. Even when I brought up the simplicity of Tarantino, he really doesn't watch Tarantino films. So I think it's interesting that, this generation is really more inspired by not, what they've seen in the past. you know, and to me it's interesting. Like I've always had this dilemma where, oh, kids nowadays everything is given, you know, it's all given, but you know it's always interesting to see like what can they come up with.
I think that's actually kind of cool. So I'm not trying to put down any like filmmakers, past filmmakers, or people that are into these films, but there's a lot of like the people that feel that way, like, oh, well, you don't know film if you don't, you know, watch.
Kind of like elitist.
Elitist, yeah. There's a lot of that in the film industry, like flat out. I've met
That's
so many
Hollywood.
people that are just like, you can't do it because, you know, you don't know this or you don't know that.
All the film buffs.
Yeah, all the film buffs. And I'm a film buff. I consider myself a film buff. But if you don't watch Kurosawa, I don't give a shit. And these guys that are coming into it now, I mean, they should probably watch these things because there's a lot to learn from them. But they don't have to necessarily appreciate it themselves. But they're also coming at it with fresh eyes, right? So they're not influenced by anything, and they're doing their own thing, and they're coming up with their own ways, new ways that we probably never would have thought of. You know, we never would have thought about directing a scene this way or whatever. So it's the same way. Like when I was an aspiring comic book artist, there were some comic book artists that refused to read comics or refused to look at other people's art because they didn't want their art to influence, you know, their style. So yeah, I think there's something to appreciate about that. So a guy who kind of doesn't care about movies coming in with his own theories and his own ways to do things, that's kind of neat.
Yeah, I never really thought about it that way, but that's a good point. But like, I think also sometimes when you're trying to do things on your own, you just run out of ideas sometimes.
Yeah. You need to draw from, I mean, I'm not saying everybody should be that way, but because I do think it is important to watch movies and to, you know, if you want to be a filmmaker, to sort of study that, be in that world, and draw inspiration from these guys. But you pull from any storytelling medium, books,
I agree,
comics, TV, you know, spoken word, radio, plays, watch those, and then try to think of your own way to tell that story the same way, but in your medium.
Yeah, I mean that's why I'm interested to see this new generation of filmmakers who are just coming out right now, because I feel like it'd be interesting to see how creative they can be when you could just chat GPT something, or you could use AI. You know what I mean? Like, to me, it's like a comparison I like to use is music, right? Who still creates good music when everything is just, you know what I mean? It's like repetitive sounds, and I felt like that's the same thing with the American author. Who was the last American that wrote a great book or a great, you know what I mean? Do we still have good writers out there when everything can be like just typed up, you know? So it's always interesting to see what generation are we in right now?
Alpha? Well, the
Alpha?
youngest is Alpha,
No
I think.
idea.
Yeah, like it's interesting to see what this generation can. I mean, hopefully I'm still alive by the time I can see this work. But to me, it's just interesting. And I think I had this conversation with aLeXiS before, how like I felt lucky. I was able to witness both the analog and the digital phase. Like I'm lucky that even though I started off with analog, that I'm still old enough, or I'm still young enough to use a smartphone or to use technology when our grandparents can barely do it. You know what I mean? So that's just, to me, I can't wait to see what this like for you, like as a filmmaker, who is the I think you gave me some examples before, but who are some current filmmakers who I would say at least in their mid-20s and up are still making these quality films? Because that's something I want to learn. You know, like what are some filmmakers or current filmmakers that you know that you feel like are great at this time?
That I do.
Mid-20s is a tough one because like those are people that are just coming out of college. They haven't. They're just starting out. I mean, there are guys like Spielberg, I think, and Lucas started like when they were they teenagers even, like, you know, they were really, really young when they
had the camera that went like this. Yeah. I was just kidding. camera,
But there are, I think there are quite a few guys like in their 30s and stuff, newish filmmakers that are really good.
actually, I like, what's his name? Keenan and Peele. What's his name?
Keen Peele. Oh, Jordan Peele.
I think he's good. I mean,
No, he's great.
I think his movies are like, oh shoot, that's creative. The movies he came out with are dope. You know what I mean? But for me, I don't know if because of the strike, but I feel like every summer it's like good movies come out, right? But when was the last summer when you actually saw a good movie come out? That wasn't a reboot of Marvel or you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. I just feel like I want to see more creative movies come back. And I think aLeXiS, you brought a good point. Like, people don't watch movies in movie theaters no more, right? Like, what's your thoughts on that, Leonard?
I mean, I'm one of them.
Yeah, that's interesting, right? You're a filmmaker. How come you don't want to? Or
maybe it's just because my attention span is so bad these days, or just the commitment to that time when I can do something else, which is kind of a bad way to think about it.
No, I mean, you're right.
But,
like, a lot of Italian movies, it's about the long shot and talking, right?
Yeah.
But who wants to watch that now? I mean, I can watch it because I'm older. I could appreciate it. But then you're right. Attention span, you want things that are fast, right? Let me ask you this. What's a movie that came out recently that you like? I like the one you just said, I need to watch it. What's it called again?
Afterlife.
I got to watch that. Remember, I got to watch that. But what's a movie?
Well, out of the maybe few movies that I've seen recently, the one I've seen recently that I've kind of really liked was Didi. It's like a local movie here. Who directed it? I think it was like, his name is Sean Wang. I knew a bunch of people that worked on it, and it's just about like it's a coming of age story.
In the 90s, right?
Yeah, in the 90s, second generation American kid, and that just like really resonated with me since, like, I was checking off all the boxes that I.
Is it more like a coming of age movie?
Exactly.
Like, oh man, those movies were great. I think one of my favorites is Stand By Me. I don't know if you've ever seen Stand By Me. Oh, it's okay, man.
I'm gonna be canceled right now with the amount of movies they haven't seen.
It's all right, man. Like, you're right. Like, something about those stories or those movies is always gonna connect to someone, right? So yeah, I'm Didi. I gotta watch that.
Didi's good. Freaky Tales was good. Sinners was good. I mean, there's a lot of. Friendship is one of the best movies I've seen recently, and it's probably one of my favorites of all time now.
Yeah,
it's there are a lot of really good movies that are coming out right now. People just it's different, like, because there isn't like one thing that would there's not one movie that everybody's like talking about right now, because there's so many that are out, and so like they talk about the big ones, which are the Marvels and whatnot. But there are tons of really good movies. And Sinners was Ryan Coogler. Yeah. And he's only 39. So he's a young filmmaker who's made tons of great movies. Two of them being Marvel movies, the Black Panther movies and all that stuff. But he did.
Is he local?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's local, right?
Yeah. He did.
What's the name? Fruitvale?
Fruitvale. I was like, what's the name of that station? Fruitvale. He did Fruitvale. He did a bunch of stuff. So I'm drawing a blank right now because I'm on camera. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I can't remember your movies, Mr. Coogler.
If you ever watch this, we really apologize. I hope you watch this, but we apologize.
I'm just nervous. I'm just really nervous right now. I'm so sorry. But yeah, he's made a ton of really good movies. And there are a lot of good young directors out there. It's just that I think people don't talk about them like we used to. There wasn't like a Tarantino or a Kevin Smith of this generation that stands out from everybody, or that everybody gravitates towards. And maybe because there's a lot more to choose from. Back in the 90s, it was like,
and I think they had a niche, right? I think what I liked about Tarantino movies is whatever movie he did, he would add some sort of interesting fact about history. or just something that, like, you know, whether it was Pulp Fiction when he brought up, you know, mayonnaise in England, quarter pounder being called this, or in was it Inglorious Bastards, right? Where he talked about how Germans do this instead of, you know, two. You know what I mean? Like, always interesting facts. And I think that's what I liked about Tarantino is, yeah, he had good movies, but there was always some kind of off the wall fact that was in his movies that made you say, wow, man. And Kevin Smith was great. I think what made Kevin Smith good was no matter how funny his movies were, there was always a serious moment. I don't know. Have you ever seen Chasing Amy? Do you know what the Criterion Collection is?
I do.
Okay.
Thankfully.
Yeah.
I can't fault LJ or anybody Gen Z or, you know, younger for not knowing or appreciating some of these older movies, because when I was there, like his age, I didn't care about movies from the 60s or 70s that much, you know. 20 years before me, and it wasn't a big deal that you don't know The Graduate, you know. I didn't appreciate that until I was much older. And even now, it's a hard watch because the film style is different. You know, the way they tell the story is different. So
I'm not faulting you.
No, you're good. You're good.
All right.
But yeah, like you know, some people are like, oh, this younger generation, they don't know, you know, Tarantino. And I was gonna talk about this earlier, how we admire people like Tarantino or Kevin Smith, you know, or Edgar Wright, my favorite director right now. Every generation kind of rags on the current, you know, every older generation rags on the current generation, and sometimes the current generation rags on the past one as well. So there are probably a lot of film people that were in their 40s and 50s when we were in our 20s that are like, fuck Kevin Smith, you know, what, fuck Tarantino, that's not film, that's not, like, you know, filming, talking about quarter pounders, you know, with cheese, the Royale with cheese, because they admired filmmakers from the past, and they said these are the real artists and all that stuff. So every generation we're going to tie our, you know, we're like, this is what film is, this is, or whatever that we like, right? This is what we like. The new generation doesn't appreciate it. They suck. They don't understand. And so we have to be careful about that, I think. You know, I'm one to not really, I try not to do that, because I see it happen too often, and I'm like, they don't have to like it. They don't have to.
I was just surprised. But then I guess, like, you're talking about, like, they don't really care about history no more. Like, you know, I guess, like, when I was, like, in my program at State, right, we had to learn about the Dick Clark, you know, how did they do production back then? This is what they did. How did they storyboard? I mean, there's a lot of things that they did in the past that we can still use today, like storyboarding.
Yeah.
You know, just random things. But I don't know. I guess with me, I wouldn't say I'm a movie buff where I know, like all the stuff in history, but I like good movies, right? And I just been disappointed the last 3 summers where, like, it's summertime is like, oh, it's the movie season, right? But what movie has come out? You know, I do like Jordan Peele's movies. I think those movies are great. I mean, just the whole simplicity of just, like, I don't want to say racism, but how he just kind of adds that and puts a twist. You know what I mean? No, and I love that. Like, M. Night Shyamalan, like, his movies were actually Alfred Hitchcock movies, right? You do the whole movie, and at the end there's a twist. That little twist at the end, and I think that that Hitchcock style kind of regenerated to that style. You know what I mean? Like, obviously you start watching movies that had that little twist. I think, is it A24?
Yes.
They make great movies.
Yes.
Right? They make great movies because when you watch it, you feel like that not great production feeling. Just, oh, this is a movie. You know what I mean? So I think that's great too. Like, if you had, like, all the money, everything given, what kind of movie would you want to make?
I would make something that's slice of life type stuff. Stuff that people can relate to. Like, I know everyone likes, that, like, entertaining movies where it's like maybe action, something like superhero related. But I personally like watching, again, slice of life, learning about other people's perspectives, whether that's like an immigrant story or some kind of like small town kind of thing, stuff like that.
Like, what's this example movie that you've seen that inspires you, like, to have a movie like that?
Well, DD.
Okay, DD.
Can't think of anything off the top of my head, honestly, but
It's okay. How about you, Alexis? What are some coming-of-age movies or slice-of-life movies? Friendship was one.
Friendship. that
Friendship.
wasn't really like slice of life, but it was man. If you have not seen Friendship, go watch it now. It is right now. I think it might be one of my desert island movies. Right, like my top 5 are on lock, but my bottom 5 rotate, and I think that's made the rotation. It is a good movie. So I was just thinking about if I had unlimited funds, what movie would I make?
Mm-hmm.
Similar, I wouldn't make a gigantic blockbuster. I wouldn't make anything like, with a bunch of special effects and stuff. What I would love to make is a cult hit. Something that's like, kind of whatever, and then, but over the years, it gathers a really strong following. People will look back and be like The Room. If I could just make one movie that resonates with a very specific group of people, and then for the rest of their lives, that is their favorite movie, then I'd be happy.
That's a good one.
I never understood, like, to each his own. Like, you have The Room and the Rocky Horror Picture. Like, that's like, man, and that's still going on. Like, after all these years,
there are a lot of people that consider themselves film buffs because they've seen every classic movie, or they're they really love all these classic directors, and I have a huge Criterion collection. I consider myself a real film buff because I like movies, good or bad.
That's real.
Good or bad. I go to watch all these films, and there are people that avoid all the bad movies, and I'm like, well, you don't know what's good until you have something bad to compare it to, first of all. And I just love this whole storytelling aspect of it, and I love watching these things, even if it is a terrible movie. I just watched, and no offense to anybody out there, I think it was called 1,000 Beavers. That was a hard watch for me. All right, or maybe
comedy.
It was 100 Beavers. It was, it's a comedy. It's a hard watch. It's because it was like a gigantic, long, cartoonish sort of film. Something that I would have appreciated as a short, but for it being over an hour and a half, I think it was kind of hard to watch. But I watched it and I appreciated it for what it was. Would I say I liked it? I don't know, probably not. But I continue to go to see all these movies. I knew The Room was a bad movie before I got into it. I knew it. Like, people were telling me how terrible it was, and I still watched it. And there will be clips online of people saying, this is one of the worst fight scenes ever. And I watch it and I'm like, this is a terrible fight scene. I need to see the rest of this movie because I want to see, like, in context and stuff. And I just want to see it.
That's what makes it a cult movie, right?
Yeah.
Not everybody's going to like it.
Yeah, exactly.
I think a cult movie I don't know why it's a cult movie, is the movie The Warriors, right?
I would say that's a cult, yes.
They call it a cult classic. I think it's a good movie, man. I mean, they took that storyline from a Greek tragedy. Greek troops had to fight their way back to back to home when they were in the middle of a war. I mean, I don't know why that's a cult classic, but
not all cult movies are bad movies. So Warriors definitely, because Warriors has a very strong following with a very specific group of people also. But it was also a good movie. It doesn't necessarily have to be bad. So that works.
Even that Kiss movie, is it Phantom of the Park? You gotta watch. That's horrible, but you gotta watch it, man. It's
goddamn. I have so many movies that I gotta write down.
Phantom of the Park.
What is it? Phantom what?
Phantom of the Park.
Phantom of
It's
the Park.
it's oh my gosh, you'll love it, dude. All right, so recently you decided to move to LA. What made you decide to move to LA?
Well, I mean, a lot of factors, but like obviously a lot of the film industry is down there, but also, you know, I've lived in San Francisco my whole life, so, you know, went to high school here, elementary, college, and I was always telling my friends, you know, if the opportunity presented itself, I would move down, and then sure enough, the opportunity presented itself, and now I'm in LA.
That's good. I mean, like when I was in SF State, all the jobs were down south. You know, I remember my first job offer was to be a news anchor in Central California. That's like,
Shit.
And I was like, dude, like, why can't I start in San Francisco? Like, nope, you got to start off. We're number 5 market. You know, you got to start off small. And it's funny because everyone in my major was from down south, and to me it didn't make sense. Then why are they going to school up here? Why don't they just go to school in LA? But they wanted to come to San Francisco because they wanted something different, because they've been in LA all their lives, you know, and they brought something back with them to LA. And like you, I decided to, you know, pursue stand-up comedy. I moved to LA. Actually, I moved to Long Beach. Shout outs to my cousin Stefan. Thank you for letting me stay at your house. And he would take me. I joined an improv troupe, and I would do stand-up at this place called the Ice House. And I think what it was is, if I would have stuck with my guns, because, you know, it was dog eat dog there, right? No one's supporting you. No one's like, you know, even though you were funnier than this person was like hating on me. But I decided to move back, and I think that was a big mistake, because my other friends that stayed there actually got a job at Paramount. You know what I mean?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so they've done good. Shout out to Tony the intern. You were our intern at the Michael Morla Show. Now you work for Paramount. Good job.
I know Tony the intern.
Yeah, Tony the intern. So if I would have stayed, you know, I would have had to work harder, but I kind of chickened out. So I give you props, because, you know, you're still young, right? You could still do this, and for you to recognize, like, I've been in San Francisco all my life. It's time for me to move out, because for me, it's like, I love San Francisco, but I feel like I could only be creative here because I'm at home.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think that was my biggest mistake. Like, I should have kept going. Who knows what I would have been.
Yeah, mad props to you, Leonard.
Thank
LJ.
you. Thank you.
LJ. We call him LJ.
Leonard.
Internally. Because my biggest mistake was never leaving San Francisco, never moving to LA, even though that's where all the work was, because I was just too afraid to. I was afraid of leaving my family, my support here, my friends here. You know, I was afraid of taking those chances, failing. Yeah, it scared me. So, yeah, and that's awesome that you're doing it.
And then, like you said, like, you could keep trying. You could always come back home.
No, exactly.
Right? I think that's the thing. But
no, he's a traitor. So
yeah, LJ, you're supposed to be famous here.
He's done.
No, you can't. You can't see me repping any Dodgers gear.
Oh God.
Nah.
All right, let's.
I have one friend who moved to LA, and he's a Dodgers guy now.
That's crazy.
We
We don't claim them. We don't.
Even though the Giants suck right now. God damn Giants, you guys are breaking my heart. But anyways, let's quickly talk about some things that you've done. Let's talk about your production company that you had here. Was it Take 5?
I don't have a production company.
Oh, I'm sorry. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you and your friends made movies, right?
Yeah.
And then you guys were under.
Oh, well, see, that was a high school thing.
Oh yeah,
You know, everyone wants to have some kind of production company in high school, so we just called ourselves Stage 5, and we just refer to ourselves as that now, because instead of saying the boys, you say, oh, it's Stage 5.
But you guys made stuff. You guys filmed stuff, and
Yeah, we definitely did. We just fucked around most of the time.
No, that's real. That's real. I don't care what people say. No, that's real. If you went out there and you did stuff as a group, you can call yourself Stage 5. That's perfectly fine. You're a production company. You weren't making any money. There are a lot of production companies that don't make money. There are a lot of production companies that owe money. So you're real. It's legit. Don't worry about it.
I saw some of the films you made. What were some of your favorites while you're working with your friends in Stage 5?
It's a good one. I think. God, they're all so stupid. But,
I thought that one where you guys, that style you did where you walked in, there was like a ghost in the house.
yo, wait, Ghost Detectives.
That one was good. If you have
Yeah.
a chance to watch Ghost Detectives.
Link it.
Oh,
We'll link
man.
it. We'll link it
Yeah.
at the bottom.
Yeah,
somewhere.
literally every video that we made is just based on the hangout that we were having that day.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of my other favorite ones was it's called Detective Jeff. It was a project for City College, and it was super random because there's a section in City College where like the soil would just start steaming for some reason, and we were supposed to do some kind of like documentary for this project, and then we're like, why not? Let's just recruit our friend, see what he has to say.
What did you ever find out why it was steaming?
No,
Was it manure or
I was gonna say there was a sewer system underneath.
I have
chud?
I have no idea why it's steaming, and it's just super weird.
And you also did, was it the last filmmaker of San Francisco?
Oh yeah, the last
What inspired that, man?
the last film crew in SF.
The
Well,
last film crew in SF.
me and my friends were just inspired by the last black man in SF,
Mm-hmm.
and we were like, how do we make our own kind of twist to it? So we thought, everyone's moving to LA. I mean, myself included.
Yeah. I had an
But-
idea. Can you film it for me? It's called The Last Filipino in Ceremony.
You should do the last Filipino in Tan Fran.
Oh, man. But that wasn't a Filipino hangout.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Hey, the last Filipino in Ceremony. Gentrification is real, y'all. I'm just kidding.
The Last Black Man in San Francisco. That was a really great movie that came out in like the last, was it 10 years?
Yeah.
That's true.
another
I
one.
saw it during the pandemic. I was able
Yeah.
to get the DVD.
I was actually on set. Well, not for the movie, but Joe and Jimmy have this thing called the 48 Hills program, and they were just doing pickups on Friday. So I was just working with them and a few of the students that they're teaching over there.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
That's pretty cool.
Nice.
Speaking of The Last Black Man in San Francisco, what was it that made you relate to that movie?
Well, I mean, it's not your usual movie in San Francisco where like a giant monster or thing or
Yeah.
natural disaster is destroying the city or
Or the X-Men.
the X-Men or some heist is going on. But, it's places that I've been, places I've seen.
It's the white
It's-
people that's destroying the city in the movie.
That's crazy.
We can't air this podcast is
man.
now
That's crazy.
demonetized. Not that we're making any money anyway.
Yes. What's crazy is what the reason why I like that movie is because for me the way I related to it was a lot of people had homes in San Francisco, right? And then a lot of people lost homes or moved, and if they knew how much their house would be worth, what I mean, would they have moved to the suburbs? Would they have, and to me, it's just like San Francisco losing its identity. That's why I love the first scene is Hunter's Point. You know what I mean? They're not, and then what to me, they're trying to get rid of Hunter's Point, right? They built condos there. They're trying to make it because what people don't understand is from Hunter's Point to Embarcadero, that's the flattest land in San Francisco, right? You could just bike there, you could walk, you could whatever. So it's interesting for me to see what they're gonna do in the future in that area. But yeah, I mean that movie just, and oh man, if you think about it, the acting was great, right?
Yeah.
That guy what's his name? The actor, the writer with the pencil and thing.
Oh,
I seen him in a couple other movies too, man.
always forget his name.
He's good, man. All right, what would you say is your favorite film of all time? Is there too many to name? Like, give me one.
Avengers End. No, it's
Avengers Endgame.
it's
Nothing wrong with that. That's a good movie.
No, it's even though I've seen it recently, and only once, it's just probably Afterlife again.
Afterlife.
It's just such a unique movie, but also not like, it's not like slice of life, nor is it too like sci-fi, if you can call it sci-fi.
Is this a TV movie?
No, it's a foreign film.
Oh, okay. Because there's an Afterlife TV series. Okay. All right. What about you, aLeXiS? What's one of your favorite movies of all time?
Of all time. Okay, well, I've got my desert island movies, right? Movies that I would, if I was stuck on a desert island, I would always want with me. My top 5. Okay, this is gonna sound so stupid to people.
Hey, man, to each his own.
Especially if you're watching this and you're like, oh, this guy's a aspiring filmmaker. He loves films. Okay, Serendipity. I'm sorry.
It's a guilty pleasure.
I fucking love. I don't even feel guilty for enjoying it. I fucking love Serendipity. So my top 5 are like Serendipity, 500 Days of Summer, Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, and Hot Rod.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I like 500 Days of Summer.
I would also put, for me, my top 5, for going a little silly, Nacho Libre.
Oh,
yeah.
God,
Dude.
I love that one so
It's
much.
amazing.
International.
That is really good. What about you, Morla?
I think for me, it's funny because, when I think of like your favorite movie of all time, it's something that you can watch over and over and something you can relate to. Last American Virgin is such a great movie, man.
Dude.
That's like, first of all, you hear the title, you think it's a nasty movie, but it's not. It's really a coming of age movie of something that happens all the time. It's when, like, to me, it's when guys get stuck in the friend zone. And I think The Last American Virgin is a perfect movie about being stuck in the friend zone.
That ending cracks me up
Yeah.
every time I see it. If you haven't, I don't want to spoil it for you. If you haven't seen it, go watch The Last American Virgin. That ending is so fucking hilarious to me.
Yeah,
I gotta see it now.
That ending made me cry. But and what made that movie good too was it's in the 80s, and the music was beautiful. The music soundtrack carried that movie, and I think back then you were able to use music easier in those movies, but now it's hard to use those music. But yeah, it's a great movie. Okay, I like this. We have different tastes. So what was the last movie that really moved you, Leonard? Moved you to tears, maybe?
Well, it'd probably have to be Dee, yeah.
I gotta watch this movie. Why did it move you to tears, man?
Well, just that relationship between Dee and his mom, where like it just reaches a breaking point. Just felt so real.
Wow.
Yeah. Watching it, I'm like, oh man, this is tough. It's also one of those movies where you look at the main character and you're like, this kid's a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Like, come on. But you also know he's a kid, so he can't help it, right? It's like it's like in friendship. I was like, there's nothing redeemable about this guy.
Yeah.
You think, okay, this is where he's going to learn his lesson. Everything's going to go well. No, he still fucks up.
See, like, these are the kind of movies, I'm just looking at it right now. Like, to me, these are kind of like the art movies, right? I don't want. I mean, I'm not a film buff, but there's a story.
I'm not either.
Yeah, there's a story within the story, and you're not really. It's not special effects. It's just you're enthralled in the movie.
Exactly.
Right. So those are the kind of movies that, like, I think Kevin Smith does a good job with that. I thought Chasing Amy was a great movie. I thought Clerks, how simple it was a great movie. And I'm just reading this right now. Just it comes to coming of age comedy drama. This kid who can't learn how to. Was it Kate or? Wow, Fremont, California. Man, I gotta watch this, dude. How come you never told me this before, dude? Oh man, that looks like you on the cover. No, I'm just kidding.
That's crazy.
Nah. Okay. Was that the last movie that moved you to, aLeXiS? Dee?
No, it didn't move me that much. No. I mean, I liked it. I definitely I liked it, but it wasn't like, oh god.
If I had to choose a movie, I mean, like there's a lot of movies, but I don't know if you guys ever seen The Bad News Bears. Have you guys ever seen that, dude?
Yes.
There's a scene where Tatum O'Neal, she's a girl pitcher. She's trying to reconnect with her former stepdad, who was the coach. And then, man, such great acting where the coach is, look, I just don't want to spend time with you, okay? Just get out. And then she leaves the dugout, and then tears start coming out her eyes. I don't know what it was because, as a kid watching that, I was a baseball player. I was like, what is going on? And I just started crying. So
yeah.
if you get a chance, that's the best scene. Tatum O'Neal. Now I know why you won an Oscar for Paper Moon. I think you were only 11 in that scene, but yeah, that was such a powerful moment for me, especially, you know, growing up playing baseball and not having my parents watch my games. But I understand, Mom and Dad, I love you. But, you know, as a kid, when you're playing baseball, what I realized is that in those times, especially when your team is like, you know, my team had mostly white people, so my parents, they feel comfortable being, you know, in the crowd, even though I was one of the best players. But later on, when my brother played, my parents were more confident. They started going to watch his games, but it's okay. But yeah, that's a scene that moved me because it made me relate to, like, man, I love this game of baseball, but my parents aren't watching. But okay, so all right, before we end, Leonard, what's talk about your move to LA, like how is it so far? I know it's only been 2 weeks, but how do you feel, man?
I mean,
did you make the right choice? That's all I'm just kidding.
Thankfully I moved in with my friends from high school, so it just feels like I'm living with friends.
Yeah,
we're pretty transparent with each other. We're always like fucking around. Again, not too much to say other than it's fucking hot. I miss the 60 degrees year round. I have to drive everywhere. Can't take the bus. I mean, I can, but like,
how is your car? Is your car doing okay?
I was doing more than okay.
Okay.
Nice.
They're chilling.
Shout out to Hondas. I'm just kidding. No, Toyota. You got Toyota. You have a Toyota or Honda?
Toyota.
Okay, Toyota Honda, best one. Okay, what part of LA do you live in?
Rosemead, if you know where Rosemead is.
Yeah.
It's kind of near. It's like if you draw a line between like Pasadena and like LA, whatever those intersect, it's pretty much.
That's one thing when I lived down there I couldn't really relate to, was there's just so many little cities.
There is.
Yeah, Rosemead, Carson, Torrance, Long Beach, Garden City, Anaheim. Like, I was like, dude, this is confusing, man.
I know, it feels more like neighborhoods than
cities. Then like, right? Like Dara Heights. But how far are you from like Hollywood, LA?
Probably
30 minutes, like everything else, or 30 minutes away.
Without traffic.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, and I think what I learned too is people, it's easier to obtain a permit in LA to shoot, right? That's why a lot of movies there. But in San Francisco, it's harder. That's why not a lot of movies are shot here. And what I realize is people in San Francisco are just, I don't want traffic. They don't want to deal with that. You know what I mean? I guess in LA, they're so used to traffic and whatever. Here in San Francisco, it's like we have our own community. When someone's shooting a movie, we don't want that drama. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, you know, like film is just so built into LA's identity. So it's just like a no-brainer for people to get like permits, or like, you know, it's super easy, or, you know, even cops know what's up. Yeah. Like when we were shooting on Friday in the city, when the cops would pull up and be like, "Hey, is everything all right? What are you guys doing?" We just said, "Oh, we're shooting a student film." Yeah. And then they're like, "Oh, okay."
That's what we always said in college with Oscar. "Oh, we're shooting a film project." And they didn't even care, right? We said it's a student film. They didn't care, man. They didn't care about your permit or nothing. Yeah. We were able to get away with so many things in college, man.
But I feel like if you were to say that in LA, you probably wouldn't be able to get away with it, or there'd be a higher chance of not being able to get away with it, since they might know what's up.
Yeah, right. Cool, man. Well, I'd like to thank you for taking your time from your busy schedule to stop by, and you're going back to LA tonight, right?
Tomorrow morning,
okay. So good luck in LA, and
thank you.
I'm glad we got this interview because, you know, when you get famous later, we could say, "Hey, man, before they were famous, this will be on the before they were famous." But
you made them famous.
Yeah, but good luck, dude. I appreciate the time I met you, and yeah, man, don't be a stranger. Always come back here and help me film some stuff, dude.
No, of course. All
right, Alexis, you got anything to say?
No, that's nothing on my end.
All right,
good.
All right, good luck, man.
I wasted my day.
Oh, what? That's crazy.
My hands are tied. The words still choke inside of my throat, and emotional